Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm out today with the discs on the TM. I'm going to get the Ponfield disc to move any grass weeds that have started growing, and then I'm going to head up the lane and the beans that's going in with potatoes. There's a bit of grass coming at the side of it, so what I'm going to do is just do the headland and get the grass turned over and moved just so it doesn't grow too much. Don't want it going to seed, and it'll just save spraying it off before winter next year and hopefully get a bit more of it growing. So that's the plan today. And today actually there's quite a few rumours going around. Today's Friday the 25th about the new budget, which it should be out by the time I put this video on. It should be next Tuesday. We are saying about getting rid of the inheritance tax relief that we have got for agriculture at the minute, which I've seen Ollie Harrison has put a video out on TikTok about it, talking about it and how much it's going to have a bad effect on farming, and so has Joe Seals, and I'm sure a lot of others have too, saying to write to the MPs to see what we can do. So done that, and there are a lot of comments on it. As always, there's a lot of negative comments, people who I suppose don't know the industry, which I get. Not everyone does know the industry, but if you don't know the industry, I feel like you shouldn't really be saying stuff about it, because I saw on Ollie Harrison's video someone commented saying they are doing something about it by getting rid of inefficient farmers who need government subsidies to farm, which that isn't because farmers are inefficient. Every farmer needs help from the government because of the supermarket prices. And then there were a lot of other negative comments, but I suppose people don't see. Oh, someone else was saying, well, it's the best thing to get farmers off their land so someone else can have a go and be able to buy land and farm it. But people don't see that it's a long-term industry. It's not just you can't go buy a farm and just start farming. I guess your Clarksons of the world can, and people with money from somewhere else can, but you've got to buy land and then buy machinery, which depreciates, and you've got to upkeep, and then you've got to buy your seed, buy your fertiliser, buy your chemicals before you'll see any return on that profit. And when it's so weather dependent, you could get nothing back. So I think it's not quite as easy as just getting more people into farming. And I was having a look this morning and looking at the inflation of wheat prices compared to tractors and stuff like that, and the price of wheat in the last 20 years since 2004 has gone up 90%. And then I looked at the price of a 150 horsepower tractor over that 20 years, which is the same as we've got here, the TM, 150 horsepower, pretty average size tractor, or probably small now to be fair, but can do everything I would say. And the price of this size tractor has gone up, obviously depending what model you look at and different brands and everything, because some are a lot more than others, but for us to get a new version of this tractor now, it's 135% higher than when we got this tractor, which is a lot different to what we've gone up for our wheat costs, wheat price, and then the fact that weather's not helping. Yields haven't really changed since 2004, but the price of fertiliser and the price of chemical has gone up massively. So yeah, there's a lot to be looked into and said about that, and something definitely needs to change, because I feel like the people who are saying, oh good, it'll stop these farmers who are inefficient from farming, it's not about that. Every farm tries the best. Nobody is an inefficient farmer. Everyone's doing the best they can with what they've got, and it's really hard. What does need to change is the price that we're getting from the supermarkets and the current sort of state it's in, where they dictate to us what price we get for it, and how we're bringing different commodities in that are grown at a lower standard to what we grow it to. With our red tractor, we have to do so much and jump through so many hoops for the government to get our crops to this high level, and our beef, sheep, pigs, everything, to get this level that they want to sell in the supermarkets. But then the government are still bringing in cheaper stuff from abroad that isn't grown to them levels, and we're competing with that, but it still passes as a red tractor crop, which is wrong to me. The government needs to sort that out, because it's not fair that we're having to do everything we're doing and spend all this money extra to get these crops, yet we're competing with someone who doesn't have to do all this, and they have a lot bigger profit margin and it's getting shipped in from Europe. So yeah, that's a bit of a rant about that this morning, because I don't think it's fair how we're being treated in this country at the minute, and it definitely needs to change. And if the inheritance tax relief does get removed, it will be the end of a lot of farms, because it'll be whenever someone passes on and it gets handed to the next generation, the farms will have to be sold to pay the tax bill. It's as simple as that, because there's not the money in farming to start with to be able to pay the tax bill that's there. So yeah, something that I've seen this morning that sort of wound me up a bit. I know you shouldn't get wound up by comments online, but just people don't realise how hard farmers are working, and we aren't being inefficient. We're doing everything we can to be the best we can, and we're having to diversify. And then you obviously get the old people who say farmers have got loads of money and oh no, you'll have to cancel this year's Range Rover and stuff like that. But it is what it is with people like that. With the solid side of it, and people look at how a farm business works and where you get told the price, what we're getting for his crops, a lot of businessmen will look at it and say, well, that's ridiculous, you wouldn't run a business like that. But it is what it is. Something needs to change, and more people need to learn about how farming works and what we're doing to make our crops better and buy British, basically. That would help the job a lot. So we'll see what comes of that, but for now, this is down. So you can see here what I am actually doing. There's some barley volunteers there, which is where the tram line was, and as I came through spraying it, it knocked the seeds out, so that's why they've grown there. Combine hasn't thrown much over it, it's pretty clear other than that. But there's some grass growing in amongst it as well as the barley. So what I'm doing is turning it all in, look, hopefully killing that barley, and it should do the same with the grass, or it will at least stop it from going to seed until it comes to spring and we spray it off before we plant it again, and that will really get on top of the grass problems that we're having. This is cheaper than spraying it, and we're not using chemical, so this is me trying to be a more efficient farmer by doing this. It's a quick job, just flying over it really lightly with the disc, getting it growing, and just that little chit on top like we did before, but just doing it again and working in what's already done and killing it off. So yeah, no chemicals being used, just flying across with the disc, and it'll tidy the field up, and a bit more to do in the other field. So I'll crack on with this, get this field done, and then do a little bit in the beans, and I'll show you how bad the grass has come in that, even though the edge of the beans where we topped and then it was sprayed off and then being harvested again, you would not believe how green it still is, which is another point of how hard farming is, because we're paying all this money for chemicals that's meant to kill the grass, the ryegrass and the blackgrass, and it just keeps coming back. I'm worried that that's the wheat we've just drilled, that's a lot thicker just there. I think that could be grass in there, so I'm going to go have a walk of that and have a look, see what that is, because that has also had a pre-emergence chemical that should have stopped that, which you will see in the drone footage of what we're doing there. So yeah, farming is very tough and it can be a very lonely thing. So people online are saying things like they are doing, saying good, it's getting rid of inefficient farmers. The farmers that are out here doing all these hours and working for not a lot, if they're seeing that stuff in such a lonely place, putting all this work in, it's not good to see. It doesn't do anyone's mental health any good, and in a world where everyone's saying be nice, there's no need for it. So yeah, that's again online hate and stuff like that. It's not good, and we do all need to be a lot better, I think, at appreciating what other people are doing and seeing what they're doing to do their best at what it is they do. So nearly finished, as you can see there. It is all browned over, and anything that was growing is now buried back in, so that has worked. I'm going to finish this field, I've just got a little bit more to do, and then I'm going to fly and get my hair cut because I'm out for tea tonight for Ellie's birthday. But while I'm at this end of the field, I'm just going to come and see if it is grass. Oh my god, it feels like I've got a hole in my pocket. Oh yeah, I have. I've lost my phone. What a nightmare. And in the wheat, now I've rescued my phone, it doesn't look like there's much grass really. It must have just been deceiving how it was on the slope, so it looked like it was a lot thicker and it was grass coming in it. But there's a bit, the wheat looks well, you can see all the seams, look. All this field, this one didn't get rolled, so that's probably why it don't look quite as even, and the wheat isn't quite as even across it. But the other field did get rolled, you can have a look at that one as well. And to be honest, really happy with how clean that is. I thought there were going to be more grass in it, but I did spray it off before we drilled it. So hopefully this will stay pretty clean. It got sprayed off before we drilled it, and it's had the pre-emergence spray on. So there's some good news, we're getting on top of the grass. Fingers crossed it stays that way, and then while I'm down here, go have a look at the rape. In the OSR, there is a bit more grass down this side, as you can see here, but look at it. Look at every seam up there. That's the headland tram line. When we're back on 24 metres with the new sprayer. Look at how good it is. All the way across it, you can see the bits of barley that are dying now. So, where we were worried about the rape, it's actually looking really good. So, things have turned around. Rape's looking good. We've still got the gas gun on it, scaring the pigeons off it, which it's working. And the rape's looking mega. It'll be, when it cools down a bit and the soil temperature drops, we'll be getting the curb on it to try and get rid of some more of this grass, and really happy with it. It has come really well, although it did take a long time for it to get there. It is finally there and looking really good. And amazingly, it's been as wet as it has for the past few weeks, but over the last week it's been really dry when I've been helping Huffs doing that power harrowing, you'll see in the last video. And this has worked out actually really nice. Not wet at all. This is the wettest part of the field, and still it's all broken up nice and fluffy. And then up that end it's even better. So things aren't looking bad at all. Got this done, a bit more to do up there, but first go get a haircut while there's nobody there and get a bit of dinner. So now in the bean field, just doing 2 more runs to do. You see it's real grassy along here, so all I'm doing is, it's only on the headlands, just doing this bit. I've done the same up that side, up side of the lane, just to move that grass and get it worked in. It might just kill it off a bit, if not get more growing for when we spray it off in spring before the potatoes go in. So it's making a nice job as well. It's light land, so but look at all the beans that have come through. Volunteer beans. They're all what the pods were splitting, where pigeons and stuff were eating them, and then there were a bit of losses on the knife, where the knife were touching the bottom of the bean and the pods were popping and the beans have dropped on the floor. So they have all come through because of that, which if they'd have been in the trailer we would have had even more. But anyway, we've got them there, and to be fair, beans do your soil a lot of good, so they'll be improving the soil structure with their deep rooting, and they will be stopping it getting as wet over winter, and the nitrogen fixing. So on their roots there's little nodules, like little balls, that the plant draws in nitrogen from the atmosphere and puts it back into the soil through the little nodules. So they'll only be doing the soil good anyway, so I'm not too worried about them, and they'll just get sprayed off before the potatoes go in then. So yeah, that's what's happening with them. To be fair, couldn't nearly get a cover crop payment for the beans in it, there's that many in it. I mean, we're not going to try because you've got to mix it with other things, but there is a lot there. More over the other side where the beans were thicker, but rather annoying that this year the beans look better than they did last year when we actually drilled them. But I suppose that's the year. It's not been as wet here as it has been at a lot of places. We've been pretty lucky with it. So, but yeah, just doing the last run now, and then got some hay to put in the barn for the horses, a couple of bales. And that'll be it for today really. Head up to Beedale, going out for a meal. It's Monday morning, disking got done, and now it's time to wash them. Not an easy task. That is the disc washed. I've got a muddy face, but they're like new. I'm gonna get them dropped off, and then it's tractor's turn. That's the TM washed off and looking like new. Then I've just got a stable to wash. That's my next job. Wash it all out, get rubber matting out, and then ready to paint it tomorrow. I wish you could smell through YouTube, because this is something else. It had these rubber mats in, which has had all the mess on the bottoms of them. They have turned upside down, so all that absolutely stinks because it's been rotting away. I'm just pressure washing it out. Not the most pleasant of jobs, but got to be done. Dogs keep walking it, so they're going to need a bath too, and it absolutely stinks, but won't do after, and be ready for a new house to come and enjoy. what I've done there is pressure washed out all the worst of the muck and then put some disinfectant on it all on a hot wash. I've just stood in it, and that'll just leave that for a bit to soak in while I pressure wash the outside, and then come and rinse it all back off again. That is the stable cleaned out. There's a few muddy footprints on concrete, but it's a lot better. Just give it today to dry and get it painted tomorrow. I'm just going to have a tidy up here with some hardcore. Get it all whacked down, make it nice. So I've just got home. Rusty's obviously been helping me with washing the stables out today, which now means it's washed for him, because he absolutely stinks. I'll show you the stables tomorrow when me and Ellie get painted. Starting painting today. This is what we got done yesterday. All washed out. Some road planings down and whacked in. Make it a bit nicer, and the same outside the hay barn, so we're not rolling bales through the wet. So that's loads better. So we're going to get painted. So this is a stable all done, painted after being washed and disinfected, hardcore back up, concrete washed, all washed out. It's ready for next person. So that's that done. I've also painted the shed door while I've been at it, hardcored up there as I said. So with that finished, that's the end of the video as well. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel and watch out for the next one, and we'll see what we're up to then.